Hey there, Data Nation. Welcome back. It's Ryan, and today I have an exciting announcement. Al and I are undergoing what we're calling the Data Driven Startup, which is going to be a startup product business sort of new venture where we're going to be using data almost exclusively to develop the concepts around how we name the company, how we market the company. The first episode is going to be kind of just us going through and fleshing out ideas so you can kind of see some of the creative process behind coming up with a new business. And then follow on episodes, we'll be doing things like deciding on what kind of domain name we want to use, what we want to call the business, and using different things like survey data and website analytics to drive decisions. Let us know what you think about our new idea in the comments down below and follow along as we go on this journey. So you've got this kind of ebook thing that you're working on, right? It's not completed, but it's
It's not.
essentially it's kind of like along the lines of like the LinkedIn hard mode stuff and like how you're like essentially dominating LinkedIn, like using that for
I
is
mean,
there like
your
a
words, not mine, man.
so what would your words be? Because I don't want to put words
No,
in
no,
your
no.
mouth.
I'm good with that. I just didn't want to say it myself. So it just sounds a bit arrogant if I'm saying I'm dominating LinkedIn.
You
No, I
are
think.
totally dominating. I mean, like my news feed is nothing but your posts and also other people that you're like affiliated with and how you guys comment on one another's posts also like Abe Diaz. I see him all the time.
Yeah,
Um, but like your stuff is like so, I mean, I think any person that's like looking to up their like networking game, especially online, like and you said it yourself, like people ask you pretty regularly, like, how do you do this? Like, what's your framework? And um, there's definitely a need for it. I mean,
yeah.
for this kind of solution. Um, and I've been like trying to, in a very unofficial way, just like be a little bit more active in my like posting to LinkedIn and like putting some media and stuff out there. So, and I feel like even just doing that, like I've gotten like way more engagement just in the last week or so. Let alone if I were to actually have like a plan, like
Yeah.
or like some kind of like commitment, like the hard mode thing. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think it's a great idea for a product.
And I think there's a gap in the market there because you kind of look at it and either on LinkedIn or off, you've kind of got two polar opposite things that you can get, and then there's nothing filling in between. On one end, you just have the free stuff. So, LinkedIn hard mode's in there. You can just get on LinkedIn, follow influencers that talk about LinkedIn, and there's tons of them. I don't even do it all the time. There are plenty of them that's basically all they do. They put out content every day about LinkedIn. They make their money by coaching people on LinkedIn. And so you've got all of this free content, which is it's free, so it's tends to be of limited value. It can be good, but you're only ever going to get so much quality out of someone if they're doing it altruistically.
Mhm.
And then you've got those same influencers who do put out quality free stuff. If you want to pay them and pay them like an hourly, like a coaching fee or some sort of subscription fee or something like that, then you get their kind of super high quality work. But I think there's a whole in this and many other arenas, there's a whole mess of people in between that want something better than the free stuff, but don't want to pay like 30, 50, $100 an hour to a coach or something like that, or get themselves roped into some sort of kind of recurring subscription deal, or get some sort of pitch. There are people that are just sort of do-it-yourselfers that they want to get a book, or they want to get an online course or something, and they just want to do it at their own speed. They want to just get material and digest it themselves. And I think there's very little that's catering to that large audience. And that's why I feel like this is kind of perfect for us, because it's not a, it's not, I don't think is going to be this huge profit driver that we're going to have to, put tons and tons of effort into, and try and maintain and upkeep. I think it'll generate enough revenue and appeal to enough people that, that we can make this sort of a self-encompassing project. And, so you're not pulling money, and I'm not pulling money to pay for MailChimp and
Yeah.
ADH and these, some of these for pay platforms that we're going to be using. The project can sort of pay for itself. But I think the product, it has a market and a kind of a ready target audience out there.
Yeah. So, yeah, man, I'm on board. I think what I'd like, and tell me if you want to do it differently, but the idea to me is like this, like kind of like we, I'm just throwing this out there for the topic, but like a data-driven startup, like we would just call it like or a data-driven product or something along those lines, where we sort of like from start to finish use data, which doesn't have to be like extremes of data, but like,
Mhm.
like we use the keyword planner tool to come up with some ideas. Maybe we could do that for this, just like talk about the solution and use that to sort of frame up like, the market and the marketplace. And then, maybe leverage like your followers, maybe some of my followers to like run some surveys on like subject title ideas,
Mhm.
like price points, what would you pay for something like this? What's the best medium, for delivery? Like, do you
Yeah.
want an ebook? Do you want an audiobook? Do you want a course? Like, and I mean, I think with the end concept being like, we're probably going to go with more like an ebook. It sounds like
Mhm.
you've already made progress like towards that, but, um, that we could kind of like at each stage use data to inform our decisions, and subsequently, I mean, obviously, like I've through my agency, like I've got the infrastructure, like we're gonna build a site for it and set up analytics, and we can, create some ads and just kind of like work it that way to like get everything in place. But but that's just kind of like the technical infrastructure stuff. Like I think the real fun will be in ads and experiments and stuff like that. It's
Yeah,
where we kind of figure it out. So,
absolutely.
today's day one of this concept, at least as far as like the data-driven demand generation channel goes. So I wanted to just like start with some brainstorm stuff, and then we can see how far we get down the path. But I've just set up like a quick document. Can you see my whole screen?
Yep.
All right. Ignore the chaos. Hopefully, hopefully in editing I can remove some of the so it doesn't look so chaotic. But I just typed in data driven startup, like outline. So the idea, like at a high level, is a solution for, what would you say?
I would just say it's an end to end how to market and analyze a marketing plan for a product or e-business.
Well, I'm actually
Suppose it could be a
thinking like,
service based.
yeah, so I'm thinking, so that can like be kind of like how we
Oh, that's our product. You're
structure
talking
the
about
thing.
like what
But
does
yeah,
the
like
product do?
the actual product, yeah, like so
Oh,
let's just say like Al's product is,
it's a solution for people that want an all-encompassing guide to content creation. I think it's more than that. To success on LinkedIn.
and success further defined as like,
A robust and productive network A defined personal brand.
Yep. I mean, you job opportunities, better job opportunities.
Yep, absolutely.
I'm going towards the money.
Yeah.
Better job
Yep.
opportunities. Yeah. Exposure to maybe exposure, connection with influencers and
Yep.
in their designated space. And I suppose like
You
to
say
become,
establishment as a thought leader.
yeah, sure.
Yeah. I kind of like thought leader better than influencer. It's a little more influencer to me suggests that you're in it for the clout, and thought leader to me means you're more invested in, being a professionally respected person in a social media space,
Right, right. So I mean,
I
we
suppose just a
know,
media space.
right? Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Influencers just it's almost like become overdone nowadays.
Yeah, to me that just means you're playing for impressions and views and likes rather than for
Creating
some
quality,
actual tangible goal. Yeah, those things don't have inherent value. You can't monetize your LinkedIn profile at this point. So it's not like having 5 million followers on Instagram where you can sell fitness tea or makeup or one of these silly things.
I'll bet you there's some LinkedIn influencers out there that are doing, you can't like monetize necessarily the like videos or posts that you're putting out there, but I'm sure advertisers and companies are saying like, if you like, here's our promotional structure, and then if that person posts something about that company, they get paid directly for it.
Ryan, I wouldn't know nothing about that, but I do know that these two Loom cubes I have illuminating my beautiful face here do a wonderful job of helping out with the podcast and the videos. So
Shout out to Loom Cube, thanks for
yeah,
the sponsorship.
no kidding.
uh
What else do I have? Let's see. Shout out to Kevin Huo and Nick Singh for sending me this book, which I may or may not have paid for.
is that the one that you had draped over your barbells the other
It
day
was,
at the
yes.
gym?
Yeah, I was reading it
Oh,
at the gym, the machine learning chapter. So I'm
did you
through the machine learning chapter now. I'm plodding my way through it. It's yeah, good book. It's defining what I all of the things that I don't know about becoming a data scientist, but we shall get there.
nice, that's cool, man.
Yeah, but definitely the free stuff does come to you when you have a certain number of followers. I won't deny that.
Yeah, well, I can't wait to get there myself, get some free. So I think about that too, like we used to attend like internet retailer conference and like a lot
Yeah,
of these other like big name brand conferences, and just the swag, I mean the giveaway stuff was crazy.
yep.
In addition to like them, some of the companies that we were connected with, we would like essentially like sell, we would um connect businesses with like a payment gateway or payment processor company. And we had some clients like PayPal actually was one of them, where we had brought PayPal, or could have been tens of millions of dollars worth of transaction
Wow.
revenue each month or each year. And they would like take us to like the White Sox game. It was all stuff that was like I didn't really get any money out of it. I was just like, oh, you're telling me I can get 2% less on my transaction fees for my clients? Like, here you go, Mr. PayPal representative.
Yeah.
So I don't know where I'm going with that, but yeah, free stuff's fun. Um,
It is.
okay, so we've got like kind of a rough idea for the product, and the main challenges, and we talked about the solutions a bit, but the main challenges are, I guess LinkedIn has become saturated, and you need to stand out. That's my 2 cents. What do you think are some other challenges because these are like kind of opportunities, I would think, over here.
You're talking about challenges for people using the book,
No, challenges that, so when I think about
challenges
like
for us
there's,
selling it.
no, I think when there's like, so there's, when I seek out a service or solution, I'm either looking to solve a challenge or create an
Gotcha.
opportunity. And so like maybe there's no challenge necessarily related to like what that the book helps to solve, but to
Gotcha.
me, there's probably a few challenges. And what this will help inform later on down the road is like marketing language or maybe
Yep.
like keywords that people might search for this solution. Does that make sense?
I would say the number one, if we're doing them roughly in order of importance, the number one thing is the LinkedIn algorithm determines to a great extent the success or failure of your presence on the platform, and it's poorly understood.
Hmm.
So I would just say like challenges is understanding a LinkedIn algorithm and how to be successful with your creation on the platform.
LinkedIn algorithm determines, what did you say before the understanding the LinkedIn
It
algorithm piece?
determines the success or failure of your content.
And so you have this, in a sense, this playbook is, you've cracked the code. You know what to do to defeat the LinkedIn algorithm and to just absolutely dominate LinkedIn.
Yes.
All right. We'll try and pull that soundbite out for the intro part of the video.
There's a whole lot of nuance there, and there are definitely some people that I argue with on LinkedIn that would get a pretty good chuckle out of the thought that I have cracked the code. But yeah, it's I find that there's a tremendous amount of unwritten rules and just secret society weirdness, and like do this, don't do that. And the average person thinks that getting on LinkedIn is like stumbling onto Facebook or Twitter, and you just kind of say funny stuff and people like it. You post neat pictures and people dig it. And there's a whole lot more to it than that. So yeah, just that there's a whole lot of secret sauce there. And
And
if I can
you're gonna
bottle the
give them
secret
this.
sauce and sell it,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Al's Secret Sauce, working book title. Okay.
I was thinking about how to LinkedIn, the 30 things I didn't teach you in LinkedIn hard mode, but
Well, but that's only for the people that are participating in LinkedIn hard mode. That's a good like ad
true.
title or email subject line for like an
Yeah.
existing audience. How to LinkedIn the 30 things. How about like 30 things you can do tomorrow to dominate network? I don't know. We'll come back to that.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. So we got sort of like the high levels fleshed out. Now I know you're working on it, but the concept is essentially like a book right now, right? Like the medium is a book.
Yeah.
And that book will be mostly written. Are you gonna have like diagrams and stuff like
Yeah,
that?
absolutely. So the way I envision it is it's not going to be a wall of text. I think that each page will be kind of like almost like a unitary handout. And so, obviously some things will spill over into multiple pages, but I envision that, there's something that'll show you like, hey, when you're engaging with someone else's post, here are the, 3 or 5 things that you need to keep in mind, or, for sharing content, for linking to another platform, here are the things you need to know. And so, Yeah, so I imagine it's not going to be something where I write it out and it's the great American novel. It's kind of bite-sized things, individual concepts.
Okay. So there's going to be like some overarching strategies and then
Yep.
some more tactical how-tos, and then there will be like a mix of visuals and text. And will it be like a workbook? Is that going to be part of it? Like, or are you actually going to like fill something out, or is it kind of just like, here's an example post and here's how to engage with that?
Yeah, I would say it's going to be more examples and just spelling it out. I hadn't thought of making it a workbook.
Yeah.
Um, we absolutely could do that, but
Yeah, I mean, I'm open to whatever at this point.
yeah.
Um, cool. Okay. All right, so we got like a little bit of product development, we got a little bit of challenge and solution content. We have a working title, Al's secret sauce, how to dominate LinkedIn. The 30 things you can do tomorrow.
Or today, you know.
How about today? To something like that. Okay. So let's talk about like marketing and promotional strategies. There's going to be a little infrastructure in here too.
Yeah.
But so obviously LinkedIn as a medium for promoting the offering book. We'll have a website where people can learn more, sign up for newsletter. We want to offer the audit. Do we want to offer like a physical copy of the book on the website?
So thinking about that, I mean, I don't know what's involved in getting physical copies printed. I don't know if you have experience with that, but
Well, you can,
yeah, I wouldn't even know what's involved.
yeah. So if you self-publish through like Amazon, you can do. They will, I believe, they will create Kindle versions of your book, and you can set it up where you can print. You can have like printed paperback books.
Hmm.
Now, I I mean, I don't think you're not going to necessarily create like a whole um like 200-page book. It's going to be a much more streamlined version, right,
Yeah.
of a book. I don't know if they have any limits on that actually. That would be a good question.
Yeah.
I've never sold a book on Amazon before. Like or never published a book on Amazon. But I do know a few publishers and I do know a few authors. So
Okay.
I'll put that on my to-do list. To publishers, authors. And okay, so yeah, the thought would be like we'd have a website where people can learn more, sign up for newsletter, buy the book. So we're gonna have like an e-newsletter or some kind of email distribution. And I think the idea with that would be, well, there's a couple things we could do. One, we could set up automated emails that just go out when people sign up that just give them like little snippets.
Yeah.
Um, we could have like a sign up today and get 25% off the book. Um, or we could have like just a regular email sign up that I mean, we need to probably do this for the data-driven demand generation channel anyways, where we could like for instance, send out an email every time there's a new video, or we could send out an email with like, Al's LinkedIn tip of the week, and you just have like a new thing or like a recent thing that you did.
Yeah.
All of those things can be really helpful. So we're just getting ideas down. And then, once we have like started bringing in a little bit of cash, I think that's when we could kind of incorporate more advertising. So, because I think initially we'll want to just kind of do some grassroots stuff to just figure out, and hopefully we can leverage, the existing market to just like understand like, what are people searching for? What kind of content do they want, and getting some feedback, getting some product reviews. But then we can talk about like ads through different channels, Google ads, search, and could do retargeting, socials, which couldn't, I guess we could look at LinkedIn, but LinkedIn is an expensive medium for advertising.
Yeah.
If you're not
So
selling something big. Yeah. But that would be where your market is. Where else? I guess we could do sponsor different like
I think, I mean,
professional.
I honestly wonder how much, how much would it cost on LinkedIn to get the amount of reach that you and I can just get
Organically.
through organic means? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that would be very interesting to me, to if someone could put a dollar figure on that. Because the numbers that I saw, I think that, back in the day with stuff that John David was trying to do, and when he and I briefly looked into, hey, what if we spent $100 or something on boosting one of these video links or something like that, and it was just the numbers they gave us was like, oh, that's it. I can get that just putting word out on my own account. Why would I bother paying for it? So maybe to hit a slightly different sphere of influence, but yeah, I think the advertising on LinkedIn is organic entirely.
Yeah. Yeah, and I wonder if it's just given the audience, if it's even worth it to look at other social media. Like,
Yeah,
would
because
you
it's, I mean,
advertise?
where else would it be? I suppose
I'm just saying,
I
like
know that there's
young
a data community on TikTok, um, but I don't know the effectiveness of advertising over there. I know that from what I've heard, that advertising on Twitter is doo doo.
Yeah. Well, TikTok, the benefit is like it's not saturated like everything else is.
Yeah,
So you can kind of throw a fair amount of money at it, and it'll go like 10 times as far as your ad budgets with like Facebook, and probably 100 times as far as your ad budgets with LinkedIn. But the audience, I don't know, target audience wise,
my
if
kids.
yeah, basically, yeah,
Yeah,
like teenagers to 20 somethings. I mean, I'm on there, but I'm basically just inundated with like parenting advice TikToks and like funny cat videos. That's about all I
yeah.
see on my feed.
Get a lot of
Yeah.
stand-up comedians.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Get
fun.
Mike Birbiglia. I get him a lot.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I think a lot of this will kind of come organically, over time. The main reason I want to like get a few marketing concepts down is like we need a sort of inbound strategy. So I think that we can develop a little bit of content both on LinkedIn and on the website to just kind of draw some users in. And then we want a way to capture those users. So those that are not ready to buy, we'd want to get signed up for the newsletter so that they're kind of in our community. And also, and those that are ready to buy would be able to just either check out on the website, or maybe there's a button to buy it on Amazon that we track.
Yeah.
And then, some retargeting to try and nurture, that maybe usually we can get about 5 to 10% of the users who have essentially abandoned the site to come back. Not to say that all of those people would buy, but that concept. And then subsequently, kind of once we have a little bit of a lead capture, customer acquisition strategy, and like maybe like an ongoing concept, then then we got a little bit of funds to put into an advertising promotional strategy to like maybe go after people who are in no way familiar with you or the YouTube channel, or those kinds
As
of things.
hard as that is to imagine.
It is hard to imagine, man. Everybody I talk to is like, man, that Al Bellamy guy,
Is killing it.
he is crushing.
It's something else. Yes.
He is crazy. Yeah. But yeah, and I guess the point of today is just to kind of get some stuff down. So I'm sure there's like a ton of other ideas, and I would love to, again, I think we can really like leverage the audience. We can leverage our growing audience on YouTube, and we can leverage the audience on LinkedIn to get ideas from people.
Yeah.
Where do you look for this kind of content? What kind of keywords would you search? What would you pay for this? Would you rather would you like this to be in audiobook format also?
Yeah.
Those kinds of things that can kind of help to, if we can get enough like 80% maybe qualitative and 20% quantitative data to make decisions off of, and then over time kind of organically grow things. I think that'd be great.
Yeah, sounds like fun, man.
Cool. Now, how big do we want this to get? Like, do we want to have like additional books and like networking and stuff like that? Or do we, right now, are we kind of just like, maybe we'll just develop a very narrow focused site?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, as I was kind of brainstorming, outlining, and starting to write content, yeah, it really occurred to me how shallow you can actually scratch the surface in the kind of length that we're looking at. If I'm talking about writing 30, 40 pages, and some of that is going to be, examples and pictures and whatnot. Yeah, I was already kind of thinking of all of the things, and then thinking, well, I already have a ton of things that you just can't fit in there. So yeah, I think I want this to kind of be a low level kind of one-stop shop. I mean, LinkedIn hard mode is kind of the low level. It's like, here are the absolute basics that you need to just not suck at LinkedIn. And then, but I anticipate this being, like I said, 30 or 40 actionable items, kind of bite-sized things, much like the 13 things that I handed out with hard mode. It's 2 to 3 times that length, but then there's depth to it as well, because there are things that I just say in hard mode, like, hey, don't put 2 pictures on a post. I don't generally explain why, just don't do it. But I can explain why, and explain how to attach pictures to a post to a LinkedIn post with some depth, where it's not just a this many or this many, that's all you get. So that there's a whole lot of detail that you can get into. I could write 3 pages just on a profile picture. I bore everybody to death, but there are 10 things that I can say right off the bat on a profile picture that are best recommendations that do I want to put 10 things on a profile picture in a kind of foundational level ebook? I don't think so. So yeah, I just really think I want this to be sort of all encompassing. I want it to hit what to do with your profile, what to do with your network, what to do with content. And I think ebook is good because, yeah, okay, there are books out there that somebody has spent time on. The algorithm changes like that. And the stuff that was true 6 months ago, if you're not experimenting and innovating constantly with LinkedIn content, you fall behind very quickly.
Yeah.
So this book is going to be, I fully expect a large portion of it to be out of date 6 months after I write it.
Which would mean what that we would offer to release, like
Yeah, I
have
don't know
new
what,
releases every 6 months.
yeah,
or
what
something
you
like
want to do. They add new additions, or kind of updates to it. I don't know what the best practice is there, but yeah, that one's May of this year. Okay, that's probably still current. I don't know. There's been too many seismic changes in the last 3 months, but there have been changes. So I guarantee if I start reading that thing, pretty quickly. They didn't write it all on May 3rd. I'm pretty sure that was whatever the content that's in it was come up with, 6 or 8 months ago, which means it's really starting to get out of date.
Right. Totally.
So that's the
Well,
challenge.
yeah, I think like looking at, I mean, there's definitely, because to me, and I don't know if people are going to necessarily be looking like researching LinkedIn book. Like this is just one
Yeah.
example of a search that I'm going to put on our list.
How many pages was that one? Just out of morbid curiosity.
Sorry. This one is 320 pages.
Holy shnikes.
You
Okay.
can keep up with that. Yeah,
So I've never heard of those guys, but I'm sure it's a good book.
Well, I don't know, man. 320 pages. The Lord. I think this is missing the boat. I mean, it's got good ratings, which, there's ways to like seed these ratings too. You can basically send it to like a bunch of your friends for like $1 initially.
Yeah.
I've seen people do that before. And they get like a ton of reviews, but I would be curious actually to see what their and they may have some like good recent reviews. But
I mean, I'll
yeah,
find it
see this one?
interesting.
Look at this. These are, I don't know if these are sorted by most recent, but see how like they're all like right after the book came out. It was published in May.
Yeah, May 3rd.
Like I'll bet you.
That was the next day,
like
and
early release.
she read 320 pages.
Yeah, completely changed the way I think about like there's. I don't see too much. There's nothing for like late July as of right now. But anyways, I'm not trying to shit on these
Rough
guys.
track.
I'm sure they did a good job.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's like one concept. Like I think we could just look simply at like, we could call it, we could do some targeting, some shopping ads if we wanted to, advertisements on that. But and then I think we need to focus too on the outcomes. So we can kind of look through these book examples too. I think we can get some maybe good ideas on what does well. It looks like most everybody's on Amazon here.
Yeah.
And Amazon's sort of dominating search, which is going to make it difficult from a search perspective to get to that point. Unless we want to list products up here. Okay, I'm sorry, we're getting off track. So but yeah, I was just kind of curious, like, I mean, I'm wondering like what people search for this, and like if we could use like the keyword planners like Google Trends and TubeBuddy and the Google Keyword Planner tool to see some things that people might search, and use that to maybe help feed like the book concept.
Yeah.
How do I paused my screen just so I can hide my all my random stuff on here. But one thing that I think would be good to do initially is, as like a first test, is to create a if we come up with a couple like book title or like kind of concept ideas, to do a quick like survey of your audience, because you said like a lot of people are have been asking you for stuff, right? That
Yeah.
ask you for like how to, like, what's like one of the more common questions you get asked?
How do I break into data analytics?
So
um,
maybe it's less to do with LinkedIn and more to do with
yeah, I mean, it's kind of industry specific, but yeah, I don't think, and I think maybe that's a stumbling block that we need to address, is that
yeah.
there's no belief from people that they can get, like, people tend to, if they're the sort of lurker class on LinkedIn, or the kind of occasional poster, only post when you're just got fired, that group of people, which is the vast majority of users of LinkedIn, from what I'm told, um, they look at someone with a couple thousand followers and they basically say, I can't get there from here. Like that requires some sort of superhuman thing, or better genetics, or something. Or they don't see it as a means to an end. They just see it as, well, that's just a kind of an attention whore. That's a social media addict. Um, and so they don't, I think part of my communication issue, even before it was a potentially for-profit thing, is just convincing people, it's like, hey, you can get out. The way to get from where you are to where I am is daily content creation, and make your profile presentable, but just get out there and talk about yourself and your journey and professional topics, and do it every day. And so, just to address the haters, like, it doesn't have to be every day like freaking clockwork for 6 months to where you're annoying everybody, but it's got to be something original at a consistent cadence. But that is the way to get from kind of casual user observer on LinkedIn to creator on LinkedIn. And becoming a creator on LinkedIn unlocks a ton of doors to job opportunities, to free swag, and kind of low level endorsement deals. And there's just a ton of benefits. I mean, when people talk about getting into analytics or tech or anything like that, a lot of them balk at the sticker price of learning platforms, and these subscription fees, and whatever. You want to join Data Quest, Data Camp, Maven Analytics, whatever. People balk at the, well, I gotta sign up for this thing for 30, 40, 50, $100 a month. Like, I can't fit that in my budget. I get those things for free quite often. And I'm talking, I have enough learning platforms that I have like a lifetime subscription to that I didn't pay for. They're like, hey, try out our platform.
And
That I
you
can't
would
even use them
attribute
all.
a lot of that to the fact that you're just a very active on LinkedIn, that you've got this like captive audience. And are they, so they're giving you these subscriptions as like hey, we thought you might be interested in this, but are they coming out and saying like, also we wouldn't hate it if you promoted us, or most of them are just kind of like,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, not all of them are, there's various degrees of how transactional they get with it. But yeah, it's, first of all, I attribute 100% of it to the fact that I have kind of an active and engaged presence on LinkedIn, and to a lesser extent, just the being on YouTube. Not as much of a following now, but being on a YouTube channel that had 10,000 followers and was producing videos once upon a time, that opened doors as well.
Is
And
he
so,
not producing videos still?
have you seen a new one from him lately? No, he's just doing his he's doing the internship, fellowship, whatever he's calling it.
Yeah, I thought
It's
he
been
was.
it's been over a month.
Oh,
And
nice.
even before that, it was like every 2 weeks he was putting one up.
Well, I do know that his he's seen a fair amount of success with apprenticeship programs. And
Yeah,
stuff like that, so it's keeping him busy.
whatever's making you money. I don't know that he was seeing much of an ROI on the videos lately, but
yeah, huh. I didn't know it. Well, and he's, I mean, hundreds of videos he produced. I think most content creators on YouTube or any other platform need a little bit of a break at a certain point.
Oh, I'm sure. And he was definitely, he was talking to us about it was the content. He felt like it was kind of played out the format and whatnot. But so yeah, that absolutely opens a ton of doors. And it's like I said, you don't have to be like, Instagram is jam packed. It's utterly saturated. So what do you need to really, move some stuff on Instagram? 50,000, 100,000 followers.
Mm-hmm.
What do you need to? I don't even know. I never go on Facebook, so I don't even know what like conducting business on Facebook looks like, or being an influencer. But yeah, I mean, Twitter, you're talking. And you've got to really have a talent for writing, and you've got to work at it, and it's kind of you've got to really want to grab that platform and dominate it, because there's just so much noise on there. I probably started getting kind of free stuff and endorsement offers and stuff like that on LinkedIn when I had about 3,000 to 5,000 followers. And that was like early on. That was, within like less than 6 months of starting to use the platform consistently. So
I don't even know how many followers I have.
There you go.
Where do you even see that?
Oh no, that's just impressions. Never mind. Click on your face. Go to your profile. Yeah.
Oh, I need to update this photo. I got some good photos. Did you see the ones I uploaded to Drive?
I did, yeah.
Good.
All right. There you go. 2,164.
Yeah. So, and a lot of these, I mean, I remember back in this was back in like 2009, 2010. I like LinkedIn. I think they still have it. Like you can like basically invite your entire email contact list to like follow you or connect with them on LinkedIn. And like I think I did that like 2 or 3 times across a few different jobs. So I'll bet you like at least half of these are just from clients or prospects that I had connected with over the years. And then now I probably connect with 5 or 6 people a week or something like that. But
nice. I mean, it takes a strategy. It takes a kind of a time and energy budget, which a couple other things I definitely want to touch on in the book. It's, hey, this is an investment. So and it pays off in kind of real dollars and real tangible assets. And
it's not just free swag. I mean, you get legit career opportunities and connections with good people in your network.
And
so we should just call this one like how to get free swag from your LinkedIn network.
Get get a bunch of followers, get free stuff. So I mean, but I think there's this regard for LinkedIn that it is this totally different animal from all the other social media networks or platforms. And And so the stumbling block is getting people to understand, like, you can get here from where you are. It requires work. It's not, it's not scrolling through Twitter or looking at pretty pictures on Instagram or, admiring somebody's dinner on Facebook. It's, you're out there to accomplish some sort of personal, professional, or business objective. Uh,
I do. I don't think I really fully embraced like how LinkedIn could be a platform for, I mean, really establishing yourself as a thought leader beyond just like the other social media channels. Like I feel like a majority of the creators are. It's like very like, pretty pictures or funny content or something like it's. And LinkedIn is like, I see some, like some of these long form posts, I really enjoy reading them, which is surprising because like almost all other social media, if I see like a long post, I'm just like skip. I don't want to look at. I don't want to read
yeah,
somebody's, like 600-word essay on the current political system or whatever it is. But like LinkedIn, like I just think there's so much more good content, fascinating
yeah,
stuff. And I've been trying to post more. I mean, so far I've only done like a few recently, one on like fatherhood and can't remember what the other ones, but like people engage and like you ask them a question or something. I mean, it's like I love to see people that I haven't connected with in years come and like, post on it. And
yeah. There are real conversations going on there, and to me, that's the approachable part. It's like, who can't start a conversation, who can't write about their professional situation. um there's some best practices there as well. You don't want to bitch about your job or your boss. You don't want to,
right.
trash talk your old job or your old boss. That so, but all of that is approachable. It's not. This isn't, getting some insane viral tweet that is like hilariously funny and gets a million views.
Right.
That's actually really, really difficult to do on LinkedIn, no matter how funny you are. It's a lot of these things are a function of what your audience is already and kind of what time of day you post and all of these things. Um, but it's not simply a function of the quality of the post, which can be a good thing or a bad thing, depending on the quality of your writing and the extent of your creativity. So I just think it's something that's very approachable for the average person that just wants to get out there and improve their professional situation.
Yeah.
And most people don't understand that.
No, I don't think yeah, just speaking from personal experience, I never really saw it as that. I think I saw it as like well, I'll, put some stuff out here. I'll have like a decent profile and then I'll just start like essentially cold messaging
Yep.
prospects. That was like basically all I was using it for.
Yep.
And
If
then
you're
some
trying to get
advertising.
leads, or if you're a salaried employee, you put up the green banner once you get fired. That's the kind of stereotype about LinkedIn, but they're doing great steps to make it a creator platform. So I think that's,
Yeah,
something to be encouraged and spread out.
they asked me, or I got some notice that was like, do you want to set up a creator profile or something like that? And so like some of this like talks about like these, I was
Mm-hmm.
able to like tag some of my, and this has probably been around for a long time, but I've like just started embracing it. And I know we're off topic again because the whole point is to like talk more about the book concept and like how we're going to market this thing and how we're going to use data to
Yeah.
set it up. But yeah, I mean it's awesome. And
Is
I
that a
think
good
there's a
place
ton of
to
opportunity.
put a pin in it and
Yeah,
resume later?
let's do that. I
Yeah.
think so like let's, whether we do this offline or we reserve it for next time, I would really love to like let's kind of like try and conceptualize like a name for this thing, whether it's a name for the book
Sure.
or like a website or just like a concept. And what I'd like to do is like if we can come up with a couple ideas, and then we can, put it out to the world and see where people land, what everybody else thinks of it. Just a quick like, hey, you know, Al's coming up with this um, guide, for lack of a better word, and we want to know what to name it. what's your top pick, and then also comment
Yeah.
below if you've got a better idea for what it should be.
Yeah, absolutely.
That'd be good. Cool. All right, sweet man. Well, thanks as always.
Yeah.
A pleasure. And
Pleasure is all mine, brother.
and let me stop share. Yeah, we'll connect. Well, we'll connect again in a couple days because we were a few days late on recording.
Yes, we will. Not good with the schedule, us.
Yeah, well, we're staying consistent. I'll get it put out today, so we stay on our typical schedule.
Awesome. Sounds good, man.
Cool,
Look
man.
forward to it.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Talk to you later.
Bye.